What's up, guys? How are you doing? I'm doing good. So let's jump into the video. Today we're going to be talking about a video you've probably seen on every other atheist YouTube channel, but I figured I'd take a shot at it myself. It's 10 questions atheists cannot answer, and hopefully I'll be answering them.
Do you really believe that science is the only answer to all of life's questions?
No, I do not believe that science has the answer to all of life's questions. I do, however, believe that it is possible to explain everything in this world through natural processes and logic without having to defer to an invisible sky wizard when I hit a wall. Instead, I find that without the cop-out, we're able to better explain this world.
If God doesn't exist, why do you care if people worship Him?
Okay, so this argument, it's similar to the if you don't believe in him, why do you fight against him? To disprove him argument. I think it's not a great argument, but I'll hear him out. As far as why do I care if people want to worship him? I don't care. I don't care if people want to worship him. Not God, not Allah, not the Pantheon of Greece, as long as they don't start trying to infect my government with their bullshit and lies. At the height of its power, the Church, aka Christianity, killed those who didn't believe, much like the Muslim world does today. It is when the Church becomes the state that I have a problem. I don't care if you pray for me or if you want to read the Bible in school. As long as tax dollars aren't paying for your actions, I don't care.
Seriously, can nothing create something?
No, not the nothing you're thinking of. But, seriously, can something that we cannot detect, observe, or test create something? AKA, can nothing create something? An actual nothing that you believe in? No. The nothing that existed before time and space, though, and the Big Bang, was more like a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, primordial oozy stuff. It contains some sort of matter, some sort of energy, and though we don't know what that was yet, we are still attempting to find out, not relying on a cop-out.
If you've never been to the ends of the earth, if you've never been to every planet, if you've never been to every part of the universe, how do you know that God doesn't exist?
If you've never been to the ends of the earth, if you've never been to every planet, if you've never been to every part of the universe, how can you know that Zeus doesn't exist? Or Thor? Or Iron Man? Oh, it's because we know that those are fictional characters written about in books and comics, verifiably written by men and not those characters themselves? Weird that yours does, but these don't.
What is the origin of life?
We don't know yet, and that's why biologists, chemists, physicists, and many other scientific professionals are searching every day to answer that very question. I don't know about you guys, but it seems like to me, all these questions have come down to, I don't cop out, stop thinking, and say, God did it. But let's see what the rest of these questions have in store.
If humans are animals, then where does our sense of justice, where does our sense of morality, where does our sense of what's right and what's wrong come from?
Humanity / Homo sapiens and our evolutionary descendants were social creatures. Our sense of justice, morality, and sense of right and wrong all come from being an evolutionary advantage to a social species. Our sense of justice allowed us to rebuke or cast out those who had broken some of the social constructs, such as murder or stealing of food, so that they couldn't be around to do it again and hurt the social group. Our sense of morality would have served as well as both not break those aforementioned social rules, but also keep us from killing our fellow ancestors, allowing for the better propagation of the species. This is also where our quote-unquote sense of right and wrong would come from.
If you were given irrefutable evidence that the God of the Bible is real, would you become a Christian?
Should I be presented with irrefutable, 100% fact that God and the Bible is true, would I drop to my knees and worship Him, ask for forgiveness? No. I would stop being an atheist, but only because I now know that a God exists. I wouldn't start worshiping Him simply because He has given me no reason to. A programmer that creates an AI would be looked down on if he demanded that every one of his creations had to bow down to him for all of eternity or be melted down. I find that the God of the Bible, even by its own morals, is completely immoral. He punishes people for not doing what He wants after He's hardened their hearts specifically so that they wouldn't do as He said. He killed hundreds of thousands of people, but thou shalt not murder. He kills people out of jealousy, but thou shalt not covet. Impregnating a 13-year-old, totally fine, but thou shalt not commit adultery. And rape? It's fine as long as you pay her dad and marry her.
Tell me something. If evolution is real, and if evolution is really happening, how come there are no transitional forms that we can observe?
Simply put, there are. I'm going to show you some artist renditions based on fossils we dug up, and that won't make you admit that we do have transitional forms. I don't know what will. Read the annotations on the screen. I can't pronounce this shit, but yeah. Here's obviously a fish fossil. Then it slightly elongated, fins grew a little more, and became this. So on to this, this one, this guy, and finally a fossil of quadruped able to support its whole body weight fully in the air. Hey, I'm surprised we haven't had any Pascal's wager yet. Foreshadow, maybe?
Do you live according to what you believe, or do you live your life according to what you lack in belief?
I do not live my life by atheism, if that's what you mean. But that's only because atheism is only an answer to one question. Do you believe in God? And my answer is no. I live my life by both the rules set in place by the country I live in, and the personal morals I have derived from my life experiences, and of course a code, designated to keep my urges in check, protect me from getting caught. I refer to it as Hitchens Code.
If God doesn't exist and the Christian dies, the Christian loses nothing. But if God does exist and you die as an atheist, do you not lose more? Will you not lose your soul?
Oh, there it is. Pascal's wager is exactly what he just said. And the diagram goes something like this. However, this table fails to take into account all positions, so here's a much more expanded chart for the most popular religions, and of course atheism. Okay, that's a bit too small to read. Here, have this one instead. 2 columns, only 5 rows. As you can see, both sides suffer from infinite loss and gain. However, the religious side actually suffers infinite loss more often than the atheist side. It's a logical fallacy of the greatest magnitude, and was one of the first arguments used on me when I told my family I didn't believe anymore. After the appeal to emotion by asking what they did wrong, and crying, of course.
Now, just because we can't visibly see something, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
That's true. A lack of evidence isn't necessarily the evidence of a lack. However, a lack of evidence is logical cause to not believe a claim until evidence is provided.
cannot see God, but it doesn't mean that God doesn't exist. For example, we cannot see the wind, but we do feel the wind. We also feel the effects of the wind, and we also experience the movement of the wind.
We can feel and experience the wind. It's testable and we can interact with it. That's the difference between it and your God. It can't be said of your God that we can test and interact with it. Or any other God for that matter. We cannot measure the effect of a God on this world. Some might claim that's because God isn't a physical being. But if he has the ability to shape and control our universe, there would have to be some measurable effect on it. And if he resides outside of space and outside of time as an observer, the first mover of the Big Bang, if you will, then why bother believing in him? He clearly isn't as powerful as you make him out to be, and he isn't going to take action in anything that happened in our infinitesimally small segment of the universe. Pop up, or if you've got the bell ticked on YouTube, but my Twitter is @atheist_dropout, and then also my Patreon, because right now, kind of in between jobs, I'm currently looking, and the money's going to go right back into making this better, a microphone first and foremost. I am going to be monetizing my videos, but that's simply because I need money. I do. And since YouTube can't pay the bills right out the gate, I'm going to have a Patreon set up. Please don't donate more than you can afford. It's really just to make this better. Thank you for watching, and if you're new, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. There'll be people there talking, maybe. I don't know. They were last time. So, thanks for watching. Bye.